We live in a world where we've gotten used to free products. When we want to learn about something, we go onto Google and search for information about it. When we want to connect with family or friends, we hop onto social media. When we want to chat, we use text, iMessage, Messenger, Discord, and so many more tools. Do we pay directly for these products? In most cases, no. We get these services for free. But are the companies creating these products doing this for us out of the goodness of their heart? Assuredly not. They are doing it for profit. If we don't pay, then how do they make money? They make money from the data we hand over to them on a daily basis. Let's take social media for an example. When you sign up, you give them your name, your email, address, date of birth, and some other information. You then follow or connect with your friends, respond to their posts, and make posts yourself, say of a group photo from last night, tagging all your friends who were there. Those interactions tell the social media company who your friends are, in addition to what you like and dislike in regards to the content you engage with and who you hung out with. The information you have given is then used to create a product, which is you. Advertisers come along and want to purchase access to you. They can identify whether or not you are their target audience, thanks to the information you have provided to the social media company. When the social media platform does sell access to you based on whether you meet the target criteria provided by the advertiser. The criteria could be something as simple as age range or geographic location, or more complex, such as your taste in popular culture products, which are derived from your interactions with posts, views, likes, and other interactions. Search engines do a similar thing as well. An example of how companies can find out about you from the data you inadvertently provide is this story from over a decade ago. There was an incident where Target sent a high school girl coupons for baby clothes to a family home. Her father was understandably furious when he saw these and complained to Target. But little did he know that Target had information that he didn't. The company knew his daughter was pregnant before he knew. How did Target figure this out? They associate identifiers to each buyer, and based off historic buying patterns of women who were expecting, they were able to predict that this high school girl was expecting a baby to the point of even estimating the due date and sending out coupons corresponding to the stage of pregnancy they anticipated she was in. After this issue, Target has changed their process and mixed in pregnancy coupons with general coupons. A more modern example that you are likely to be familiar with in the United States is when you go to the grocery store and they print out coupons for you, using your buying patterns to encourage you to spend more. So far, we've looked at places where we directly engage, but what about the companies who collect data that we don't directly engage with? Think about credit scores. Where do they get their data? Well, they don't disclose all their sources, but if you look at a report, it has things like foreclosures, tax liens, bankruptcies, collection information, and so much more. There is a lot of information from numerous sources. How do these credit score agencies make money then? A quick Google search will tell you that the big three credit scoring agencies made over $9 billion in 2016, namely Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. We see those mailers from credit card companies telling us we are pre-approved to apply for a credit card. Well, these companies purchase lists from the credit agencies using criteria such as age and credit score. They also sell you fraud protection services. Unfortunately, you can't really get out of using credit score agencies as they're used by banks to open checking accounts, mortgage applications, car loan applications, rental applications, credit card applications, and sometimes even background checks for potential employers. The credit score agencies all come under consumer reporting agencies, and there is a 41-page document listing the agencies on the Federal Reserve website, ranging from employment screening agencies to low-income and subprime consumer reporting agencies. Across your consumer reports, there is a lot of data there. but we rarely knowingly consent to provide this information. It is probably in one of those terms and conditions agreements we checked a box to, like the 14,000-word terms and conditions of Facebook. If you've been to college, you may remember taking the PSATs, SATs, or APs. You may remember providing some personally identifiable information to them when you registered. This information is then used by the College Board to connect students with colleges. Once you take one of those exams, you often start receiving a lot of mail trying to get you to apply to colleges. To colleges, you are the product they're buying access to. This is an example where your personal information is sold, and especially when you are so young that you may not understand the implications of this. Unfortunately, the USA's data privacy laws are not at the level of the EU laws. One such law is called GDPR, expanded as the General Data Protection Regulation. So we don't have as much control over our data as our European Union counterparts. This doesn't mean you have no control, just that you have less control. In the example of a scenario where you shop in person, the stores can tie an identifier to your rewards account, your credit card, email, or something else. The chances of avoiding data collection is futile. So it is really knowing about what data collection is happening and what data you are happy to share and what you aren't. Right now, if you want to share less data, you might get away with paying with cash. But it is not feasible for most people and certain types of expenses. And when facial recognition takes off, companies could use that to associate your purchases with you. Facial recognition is already being piloted by the TSA to get through security. And even the IRS had a brief stint with requiring facial recognition to log into your account. We have, however, had some breakthroughs in data privacy laws stemming from California, which is called the California Consumer Privacy Act, abbreviated as CCPA, and has been adopted nationwide by some large corporations. Even though the USA doesn't have the same data privacy laws nationally or on par with the EU's data laws, large companies such as Google and Facebook have adopted a lot of the higher data privacy protections globally rather than focusing by region, which gives us more power over our data. However, not all companies are doing this, as they don't have to apply these regional laws globally. We live in a world where data breaches are commonplace. The companies who guard our credit scores, telephones, and government institutions have had data breaches. Even the IRS accidentally released 120,000 taxpayers' information by error on their website. It feels like sharing data is inevitable, but the thing we have control over is how much we share within limitations. Of course, you can't stop shopping, but you can do things like managing your Facebook privacy, stopping Google from storing your location history, or even using an alternative search engine, and the list goes on. There was a time when we knew little about data as a population, but we live in an era where sharing data is inescapable. Your data is not just about privacy, but it is a gateway into your life. With certain pieces of data, someone could commit fraud. So something you can do to reduce your risk is to protect your credit score by using the ability to freeze your score. To manage your data sharing, there are other examples of things that can be done, such as reviewing your privacy settings on your social media and other accounts, deleting accounts that you don't use anymore, and opting out of your data being sold, thanks to the California Consumer Privacy Act. However, this is only required in the state of California, though it has been adopted nationally by some large corporations. There are many ways in which you are the product, whether social media companies sell access to you to advertisers, grocery stores sell access to you to grocery product manufacturers, credit scoring agencies selling your data to credit card companies, or even the College Board selling your data to the universities. However, in most of these scenarios, You can control how much data and if any data is sold. Eventually, the more data out there creates more risk from data breaches, and managing your data reduces your risk. I'm not saying that you shouldn't use social media or other free platforms where you're providing your data in exchange for a free service, or that you should start paying all your bills in cash and not filing your taxes. However, knowing what data you are providing, how the companies or organizations are using it, and your personal comfort level is important. And finally, take control of your data and make your own decisions.